Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you may be watching this. My name is Jamie Moeller, and I know I said that I was going to go live, but my technology is not quite up to snuff just yet. Eventually, I would like to be able to go live to the platform at the same time, but still working on some stuff worked out. But try to make some visual improvements, hopefully some audio improvements as well. But again, my whole point in doing this is to try to help graduate students not just survive graduate students, but to thrive, to connect, and better navigate the various issues that you deal with as a graduate student. Um, you know, uh, I've been in academia for 20 some years. I forget, I quit counting, right? I worked with lots of graduate students, been in lots of different positions within university, and I feel grateful for the opportunities I've had. But I feel like, even though I've progressed professionally, when I look back over my career, when I look back over my life as a whole, I feel like I had to make some sacrifices um, relative to relationships in my family and with children. I feel like I certainly didn't focus at all on the physical aspect whatsoever. Um, and that's what kind of propelled me into kind of a lifestyle change. And I got involved with a group called Wake Up Warrior. And so some of the things that I'm going to teach here through this mechanism, I've learned from there. And so I'm going to provide a link to their website down below, just because I feel like that's the right thing to do. But as I think about, you may be like, well, just send us to Wake Up Warrior. Well, first of all, it's kind of a restricted group. It's for working professionals. It costs money monthly, and it's not an insignificant amount. It's for men only, and it really doesn't have content that I think is customized such that it would apply to a graduate student. Now, you might get plenty out of it if you're a graduate student and you got involved with it. But what I'd like to do is to try to filter the things that I've learned and provide them to whoever may be listening to this, but mainly to graduate students. Because I mean, in my life, what I noticed happen is by being involved with what I'll call the discipline, right, of living a balanced lifestyle. That is attending to and focusing on doing a little bit in each of the four areas of life every day. By areas of life, I mean the physical, the relational, the spiritual, and the professional. Because a lot of times, working professionals, and you may be able to see this even in your own life, is that oftentimes we're good. A lot of times we may be really good in one area or even two areas, but very rarely are we balanced or harmonious across the four areas and actually making progress, because it's very difficult without, number one, knowing that you need to focus on all four areas, and that you can progress in all four areas simultaneously by just attending to them a little bit each day, and then a little bit each week, and then a little bit each month, and it's amazing how far you can come. I mean, for myself, the biggest changes that I saw is, number one, is basically balancing out. What I mean by that is, when I started 3 years ago this journey, I'm 5'7" and I was pushing 210 pounds. Started having heart issues and some high blood pressure and some other, and I knew I needed to do something. My relationship with my kids really wasn't where I wanted it to be. My relationship with my wife was pretty good, but it could always be better. Spiritually, I was pretty strong because that's always been a focal area for me. And professionally, I needed to continue to maintain that. And so by really attending to all four things, essentially, I was able to get basically from 210 pounds down to 175. I've kind of balanced out at 180 right now because I've laid off weights a little bit, but at least I can walk on a treadmill at a 4:0 pace, go 2 miles in a half an hour, or four miles in an hour, and not be uh, where I can't breathe. So so this is the impact it's had on my life. I think my relationship with my children is better. And so this is one of the things that I want to try to deliver via this mechanism, is kind of this, what I'll call the discipline, or the challenge based, habit based. There's lots of different words for it that you could use, but this lifestyle, right? And what I realize is, you can't do it alone. You've got to do it with a group of people. With me, I did it with a group of men. Here, what I want to do is try to create an environment where graduate students spur one another, because it matters when you do something with other people. Now, it doesn't remove you from doing the work. You still have to do the work every day. You have to commit to it. But I promise you, if you'll go on this journey with me, I think you'll be surprised where you are in 6 months, in a year. I think you'll see some significant differences, changes in your life. And those around you will also see that, I'm sure. Now, in addition to that content, I also want to talk about, content that's relative to graduate students, authoring, publishing, peer review, professional development, navigating research, and how do you come up with research questions? How do you go after grants? How do you do so? And I don't know where this is going to go. I may end up having some guest folks on here at times, because certainly there's as much for me to learn as there is for anyone else listening to this. But nevertheless, I want to start here and just see if there's any interest. And so, as I said last week, I think maybe it was the week before in a video that I put out, that this is really something that's been on my heart for a while. So you may be sitting there saying, okay, what do I do then? If I want to engage, how do I do this? How do I get connected? Well, I think the first action for you to take is, number one, to subscribe to the gradConnection YouTube channel. So if you're watching, you will be watching this video in YouTube. If you subscribe to the channel, that's going to be one primary place for me to deliver video content. And so that'll be a mechanism for me to communicate. And, if you have questions or thoughts on the videos, you certainly can leave those in the YouTube channel. But in addition to the YouTube channel, I've also created a Facebook group. It is a private group. And so you'll have to apply to get into that. But you should be able to go on Facebook if you search for gradConnection, gradconnection. So the gradConnection, which is what I'm calling this for lack of a better word. If you just basically join that group or apply to join that group, that's going to be a place for us to have kind of private conversations, and where you can post questions, you could even post videos, pictures, and whatever. We'll just see how this evolves. I don't want to constrain it to any particular thing, but I want this to, again, the goal is to help graduate students to grow, to expand, and don't suck. And those are three terms that over the last 3 years, as I've posted on LinkedIn, I use that as a mechanism to post thoughts that I have that I garner from professional books that I read and so forth. Essentially, those three hashtags are on pretty much everything that I put out there. Now, because I believe our goal should be as human beings to grow and to expand. And as a prior student from Purdue, her name was Jen, she used to always, when she'd come back and talk to students at Purdue, she'd say, you don't have to be perfect or excellent or over the top in life. You just have to don't suck. And if I can help you to expand and grow, and most importantly, not to suck, I feel like this is worth doing. So with that, again, subscribe to YouTube, join the group on Facebook, and there'll be more content coming at you soon. Eventually, I will get to where I can go live at a moment's notice. But I want to provide a mechanism to get what's in my head and heart out to you. So hope you find this beneficial. Have a great day, great rest of whatever's left of it. This is a Friday on which I'm recording this, and so I do hope if you see this today or whenever, that you have a great weekend, and that most importantly, that you figure out what will help you best to grow and expand. With that, have a great day. Thanks.